Greetings at mabuhay! This is your friendly Pinoy future scholar of international relations, Elijah Agustin. Today, I was tasked to give insights and analysis about the speech of this man. The speech of the late US President Harry S. Truman happened on the 12th of March 1947. It caught my attention to evaluate the agenda not because of the familiarity of the principle, but also there are lots of ideas relevant to my program, International Studies, that would be helpful on my end to analyze the shift of the foreign policy of US after the World War II to straining effort or relations with the Soviet Union and other communist states. In fact, there were lots of so-called claims by President Truman, but I would like to focus on some. Claim number one, that if Greece and Turkey's resistance faltered, then it would only run the risk of destabilizing stability in the Mediterranean and the Middle East. Following the pronouncement of Great Britain that it could no longer afford to support other Mediterranean powers in transfer of aid, the US here felt paranoid that if Soviets prevailed, they would influence the Greek. Moreover, the anti-communist mentality came as well from the US. For them, Marxism, communism, and Leninism are all ideologies that somehow an assault to what they perceive as values of American democracy. Now, for them, US believed that the threat of communism would only spur threats to freedom, individuality, political stability, free elections, trade, and other restrictions of human rights. No? And here, I believe US perceive themselves or portray themselves as somewhat heroes and tutors of mankind. They even conceptualize the idea of containment foreign policy because for them, communism must be isolated, otherwise contained, as it often led to what we call as totalitarian regime. Taking the case of Joseph Stalin of Russia, under his regime, there were lots of repression and other restriction on human rights. With this, I make my side that communism, regardless of its sublimity, still possess vagueness. And the reasons of President Truman have articulated for its withdrawal from regional conflict justifies his actions. Second claim is that part of their primary objectives is to assist and aid free peoples in their struggles of liberation against totalitarian regimes. Here we see that US is acting hegemonic and somewhat protagonist. They even championing the concept of international norm, responsibility to protect. Like for example, dispatching foreign troops to region. Now, they are doing this in order to limit the projection of another rising power, like for example, the Soviet Union before, and other communist states. Now, in my view, US did such swift move to protect the strategic importance of the region, like for example, the Mediterranean power, the Turkish affairs, and the Greek affairs, because for them, it is highly important to strategic national security of the US and to prevent other forces from undermining the foundation of international peace and laws that binds upon nations. However, this only led to military alliances or the creation of North Atlantic Treaty Organization that in response, there was also the Warsaw Pact, and it even led to more devastating impacts of Incheon War, the divorce of North and South Korea, and the Vietnam War, that for US, they did not lose the war. However, the signed aid after the speech heralded a formalized US commitment in assisting, reshaping the world politics, and preserving the peace. But, still, we do not rule out that the consequences of aid agreements led to early Cold Wars, proxy wars, and it even shaped the international relations today.